So, now that my Star Fox 64 walkthrough is complete, I thought I'd make a list of my top 10 favorite Star Fox 64 bosses. There are two things I will go over. First, the method of attack the boss uses, and secondly, the reason why I put the boss where it is on the list. This is a personal list, so don't get mad if you don't see your favorite boss or you think a boss is too high or too low on this list. Anyways, let's barrel roll into this thing.
Lucky little freak!
At number 10, we have Golem. Golem looks like something from Shadow of the Colossus. It's a giant mech created by Andros, and is the final defense if you take the bottom or middle path. Its only method of attack is to throw obstacles at you while it runs away. Why it runs away? I have no idea. It's probably because he wants to go crying to his mommy, Andros. This boss can be incredibly frustrating. Once one of the obstacles hit you, then get ready to be bombarded by the impact of other obstacles and walls. Sadly, that's the reason it's so low on this list. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad boss, it's just not that great either.
Lucky little freak!
Shogun isn't really anything special. It's just a stronger version of all those other robots you fought during this level. His method of attack is flying around the stage while firing missiles at you. Again, nothing special. Now, you may be wondering why I even put him on this list. Well, it's simple. The banter between this guy and Star Fox's team is just hilarious. I mean, just listen to him.
Don't party just yet. I'm coming for you. Cocky little freak! What's wrong? Is that it? Cocky little freak!
Now, while he may not be challenging or have any special moves, he sure does entertain.
Cocky little freak!
The attack carrier is the first boss that you can fight. That is, if you take the right path. There are two paths, and if you take the path where you follow Falco, then you can battle this boss. I remember playing Star Fox 64 for the first time on my 3DS, and wondering how to get on the other paths from that first level. One day, when I was on the eShop, I watched one of the Star Fox videos that they had, and it taught me how to get to this other path. So when I finally got to this boss, I was so excited. This boss is just a blast to fight. Sure, its only method of attack is shooting missiles at you and missing every time. And sure, it exposes its weak point when firing these useless missiles. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. This boss, even though it's as easy as it can be, it's still fun and nostalgic to fight.
Who are you guys?
We're Star Fox.
Lucky little freak! Use bombs wisely!
That's right, at number 7 we have that stereotypical pirate ship and his ship, the Sour Marine. After flying around in the toxic wasteland that is Zonus, you come across this guy. His methods of attack are shooting explosive, firing bullets, and throwing giant spiked balls at you, although his aim is awful. The way you defeat him is by shooting your bombs at the entrance on both sides. There's a catch to this though. You can't just fire your bombs all willy-nilly. No, you're gonna have to...
Use bombs wisely!
Yes, I was getting to that heavy. This boss also gains some points for having some humorous dialogue. So all in all, this boss...
Use bombs wisely.
yeah.
Snucky little freak.
At number 6, we have the cockiest robot alive. Spyboard. Just look at the way it taunts at you, mocking you like that. This thing is just asking to be defeated. Spyborg is considered to be an unfinished robot built by Andros. So in other words, Andros got lazy and we got this awesome boss. Its methods of attack are throwing walls at you, and my personal favorite, flailing its arms around! This robot is just hilarious. From it flailing its arms around like Paper Bowser, to its dialogue with the characters. This robot is quite the challenge too. It's not too difficult, but it's not that easy either. Also, if you don't defeat it in time, it'll punish you by making you save Slippy in the next level. But I think it's worth it to see Slippy get slapped into tomorrow.
Snucky little freak.
At number 5, we have the Death Star. At number 5, we have Goron, the Death Star Pokemon. At number 5, we have Gorgon, the giant tentacle core. And no, this isn't some weird robot hentai. Gorgon attacks using its giant tentacles, firing missiles, deploying its fires at you, and... the only way to defeat it is to shoot all 3 tentacles to reveal the inner core. Once that's done, you'll need to shoot the 3 orbiting orbs. Then, and only then, will you be able to damage this thing. And considering this thing has a ton of health, you'll need to repeat the process a few times. This boss is no cakewalk either, considering it disappears half the time and you only have a few opportunities to actually attack it. Oh yeah, make sure that you avoid all its attacks, or else you'll be bombarded by attacks and quickly lose all your health. Heck, just in the walkthrough alone it took me 4 attempts to try and beat this thing. So I think this tells you how tough the Death Star is. I mean...
Snucky little freak.
On the planet Macbeth, there lies one of Andros' bases. A base, which needs supplies. And how does this base get its supplies, you may ask? Well, by train, of course! Throughout the whole level, you'll be chasing down the Forever Train and the Landmaster. And the train is forced to release some of its supplies to speed up as you gain on it. There are regular enemies to find this level, but the train also fires bombs at you, and causes boulders to fall and hit you. So finally, when you catch up to this locomotive, you are put through a section where you need to hit 8 switches in order to hit the final switch, and cause the track to change, which causes the train to crash into the base and destroy it. However, if you fail to do this, you get laughed at by this dog. And you are forced to fight its second form, which is just a pilot firing spears and picking you up. The thing I love so much about this boss is that it's present throughout the whole level. It makes you want to catch up to this train and defeat it. And also I love the switches part, because it gives you a sense of accomplishment if you get them all and make the train crash into the base. Plus, it's pretty hilarious. But even if you don't manage to do that, you still get to fight this great boss.
Snucky little freak.
is the enemy's bioweapon?
That's right, Peppy. This is one of the enemy's bioweapons, and it's my favorite. This is my favorite bioweapon because it's a giant lava monster, and the other bioweapons should just shut its clam. Am I right? Am I right? But in all seriousness, this boss is placed so high up just because of how fun it is. He's pretty much just a simpler version of Andross that throws lava at you. You defeat him by shooting his arms and head, just like Andross. This boss also spins around and chucks rocks at you, which you can shoot to reveal health. I can't really explain why I love this boss so much. All I can say is that I have a blast while fighting it. Get it? Blast? 'Cause fire? Oh, I'm just gonna shut up now.
Snucky little freak!
That's right, the final boss is second last on this boss list. Confusing, ain't it? I couldn't resist putting Andross this high up on the list. The build up to him is just enough to put him this high on the list. The game starts off telling you that Andross killed your father. That alone makes you want to kick his ass. Then General Pepper tells you that Andross is terrorizing the Lilat system. So now you finally have a political reason to kick that monkey right into the next galaxy. Finally, you make it to his home planet, and it's a one-on-one battle. Mano a mano. Nothing held back, all bets loose. Man, that build-up, it's so epic! I mean, this monkey killed your father, ruined countless planets, and plans on taking over your solar system. It's payback time! Oh yeah! Depending on the path that you took, will determine the Andross form that you battle. If you came from Bols, then you will fight his fake form. But if you take the path that leads into Area 6, then you will fight his true form. Both forms have the same first form. In this form, Andross is a giant monkey head of himself with floating hands that shoot you. In this form, his methods of attack are shooting lasers out of his hands, trying to eat you, and smacking you all over the place. To reveal his next form, you'll need to destroy his hands and then shoot him in the face. In Andross's fake form, Andross will lose all his skin, revealing his robot interior. In this form, his method of attack is flying into you. All you need to do to defeat him is shoot him in the eyes a few times. And finally, we're going to get to the interesting part. In Andross's true form, Andross will lose all of his robot exterior and become a giant brain with the eyeballs attached. His only method of attack is crushing his eyeballs into you, grabbing you with his brain tentacles, and leaving, brain feces behind. Ew. In this form, Andross can teleport his giant brain too. To defeat him, you'll need to destroy both his eyeballs and then shoot his cerebellum. Once you defeat this form, Andross will try to take you down in a fiery explosion. Fox then needs to escape Andross's base. And here's where it gets really epic and confusing. Fox's dad, James McCloud, leads Fox out of the base. Once Fox escapes, his father disappears. This raises a question: was James McCloud really alive, or was that just his ghost? But that's a question for another day. Before we get to number 1, let's start a recap. At number 10, we had Golomech. At number 9, Shogun. At number 8, Attack Carrier. At number 7,
Use bombs wisely!
at number 6,
Destroy.
number 5, the Death Star. Number 4, the Forever Train. Number 3, that awesome lava monster. And number 2, giant monkey guy.
Snucky little freak!
Sorry guys, I couldn't resist. Starwolf is at number 1. I know most people don't consider Starwolf to be a boss, but more like a mini-boss, but I consider them to be a boss. Anyways, let's get into the reason why they are number 1 on this list. They are just so skilled. Let's be honest, they are just as skilled as your team. Heck, probably even better than your team. Starwolf has me feeling like I'm versing a real person instead of a computer. I'll admit that sometimes I do have difficulty with these guys, but I still end up having fun. Depending on which path you go, will determine when you battle them. You can battle them on Fortuna, Pulse, and Venom. For Fortuna and Pulse, the Starwolf team are on the Wolfen ships, and are much easier to defeat because they have less maneuvers and less health. For Venom, however, they are on their Wolfen 2 ships, and have shields and do maneuvers more often. Both fight similarly though. They both fly around the map and shoot you whenever possible. To defeat them, you'll need to shoot them all. Personally, I like to save Wolf for last. That way I can have a one-on-one battle with him. No matter where I battle them, I have fun doing so. Because these guys are my rivals, and it's that feel of defeating your rivals. No matter what, I will respect Starwolf as my rivals. And I feel that they too respect me as their rival.